all go on the YouTube channel, and so if you need to revisit the content, you can. So the chords are set, they're fixed in this time-space continuum, and so vibing off this energy chord, so A, it can keep a portal into somebody else for sure and be really disempowering that way, but it's also a portal into the past, and so it's really disempowering that way. It can stunt emotional maturity and growth, and just maturity and growth in general. And this is also, so these chords, as they build and develop, this is also how patterns and habits are built. So you can definitely, if you do have a habit that you want to kick, like if it's binge eating, if it's smoking, if it's sugar, if it's whatever it might be, or dating emotionally unavailable people, whatever it might be, you can definitely do the same thing with that. So you can scan for chords and just see where the chord leads you and just trust that you're doing it right and look at the agreement on the other end of it like we've been doing. Or you might have a thought, you might be like, I can't kick this habit. I've tried so hard and I can't kick it, and I'm smarter than this. Like every time I date an emotionally unavailable person, I'm like, what are you doing? This is gonna hurt, but I can't stop doing it. But so great for addiction and like these type of like disserving behaviors. So what I would do with any addiction or with any of these habits that you're trying to kick is then consciously go in, and if that's happening, then there is an energy cord, and so you can consciously go in and be like, okay, I'm going to look at smoking, and then follow the energy cord, look at the other end of it, and it might like be a cigarette that has its own messaging, or it might be like just a contract that has written on it, well, I acquired this habit to take in some deep breaths and to get away from others. Turns out I'm an introvert, and this is the only way I knew how to foster my introvert tendencies, or whatever it might be. And once you have that metaphysical understanding of it, you stop judgment, self-judgment, shame, guilt will keep these cords going. They'll keep you repressed and small and limited. And so better understanding yourself and cultivating that self-awareness and that self-compassion will be like, oh, I'm just an introvert, like that's it, that's what like this smoking was about, like I'm not a bad person, and it'll offer you the compassion and the elevated perspective to fully let it go. If the cord has been there for years and years, chances are you're going to want to scan your space for it every day and cut the same cord every single day until it stops coming back. So energy follows intention. And so say the smoking habit. Maybe you cut the cord and then 2 seconds later you're like, I just need a cigarette. What? WTF, I just cut this cord, what's going on? It is a habit. Your energy, it's kind of like saying goodbye to an old friend. You know, it's been your friend for like 20 plus years, and even though it's no longer of service to you, it's familiar, it's comfortable, it's family, and you don't know any different, and there is going to be a void where it used to be, and that can feel like isolation, it can be lonely, it can trigger fears and stuff like that. So we're not intuitively, I mean, they exist because we don't want to let them go, you know, and so you might need to cut it every 5 minutes. You might need to cut it once a day. You might need to like keep scanning yourself. But the more you cut it, the more your energy field is like, okay, she really doesn't want this cord. I'll stop coming back. Like you'll start creating new habits and new agreements. Every time you're cutting it, you're writing that agreement across your space. And so soon enough, the new habit will replace the old habit, and it'll just facilitate the cord being cut once and for all. The longest I think anyone has ever spent getting rid of a cord, I want to say like 1 to 2 months. So not bad relative to how long that habit was around for, you know? Any questions before we move on to the other type of energy cord? Okay, so energy cords from the front are a conscious agreement. So 2 parties came together and were like, we add value to each other's lives, right? Or like, I like cigarettes because they give me deep breaths. Like I'm choosing this agreement. There's another type of energy cord. This is the trickier one, where they happen from the backside. So this is somebody wanting you to agree to something that you're not agreeing to. An example of this is I have a client who is like stunning and beautiful. She's a model, so obviously she looks really beautiful. And all she's looking for is love. Like, all she wants is love. She's constantly alone, and she travels a ton, and it's hard to like build a relationship, this and that. And her backside, she has like all these energy cords of people wanting to sleep with her. It's not love, it's sex, it's lust. And she's not agreeing to it. Like, she comes in every week like, what in the world, why can't I find somebody who actually like values my thoughts and opinions? Why is it always about my body? Like, this is so, you know, this is really getting to me, and I don't believe in love anymore, and blah, blah, blah. But it's because of all these energy cords that persist from the back. So she doesn't want to sleep with all these people that want to sleep with her, but there's a vulnerability in her space that allows the cord to be there. So while she doesn't want to sleep with them, she also had this resistance to cutting the cord because the attention helped her feel like maybe one day love will come in, or if all these people are into me, maybe one of them will actually like acknowledge my mind one day, or like there was a vulnerability in her space that suggested maybe I'm only worthy of attention, or maybe this is how love comes in for me, is like first through sex, and then we can evolve it into a more conscious relationship. And so because she was afraid that she wouldn't fall in love, or that what she was looking for wasn't actually out there, she didn't want to let go of all this attention coming in. The attention helped her hold on to faith that love will come in, you know? And so her vulnerability was like, maybe love doesn't exist. That was her thought form, that was her belief that allowed all of these energy cords to cord into her. So while she didn't actually want to sleep with them, she was like disgusted by the thought, a part of her still wanted those cords. Like, so we did start cord cutting, right? And then fast forward a few weeks, and she's getting that type she was hit on in that way far less, and she started freaking out over it. She was like, oh my God, like, what if I stop getting modeling gigs? What if like my career is destroyed, you know? And it's like everything that she wanted, but if that's all that she was used to, she was like, this is like my entire career is based on my looks, and the only way I've ever attracted men is based on my looks. So it started freaking her out, like, what if I never fall in love? Like, now that all these sleazy dudes aren't hitting on me, like, what if love isn't for me for real? But right after that hump, it was kind of like, oh, this is peace, and I've just never known peace before. If like my whole life has been like chaos and other people's thoughts and opinions about me, I've never had the chance to develop my own thoughts and opinions about myself, and this is actually peace. And yeah, like this was actually years ago, and she's totally like now married with babies, and like everything's awesome. But it did take, she was like crazy resistant to cutting the cords. It felt like anytime we'd cut a cord, she'd come back like, I don't like this, and I'd be like, let's do it again. She's like, no, but it's what needed to happen. It worked out for her. So does that make sense, how the back ones can be there? Those are a little bit trickier, so I definitely wanted to guide you in at least one of those today, because those tend to be the front ones. Through therapy, through different modalities, we will, if you're on the path and looking for personal growth, you will come across, like, you will figure out how to cord cut them, usually, eventually. This is like a far faster way to figure out how to cord cut. But then the back ones are the more tricky subconscious ones that tend to hold us back even more. So let's definitely go into at least one of those. Okay? All right. So again, taking a few deep breaths and getting back into the parasympathetic. So inhaling for 4, 3, 2, 1, holding it for 2, 1, and exhaling for 4, 3, 2, 1. One more time. Inhaling for 4, 3, 2, 1, holding it for 2, 1, and exhaling for 4, 3, 2, 1. Great job. Let's begin with yet another golden sun. Imagining a huge golden sun hovering right above your head, filling up and in with your own personal power, your source energy, your very own light. Watching as all these gold rays pour into your golden sun, rays from the past, sun rays from the future, Any energy that you may have left with agreements, contracts, any energy left on locations, objects, possessions, it's all pouring back into your golden sun. And when your golden sun is all the way full, you can poke a hole in the bottom of it and let all that gold light in. So all the gold light is coming in from the very top of your head, falling straight down to your toes, and filling you up from toe to head, filling in your toes, your feet, ankles, calves, and shins, all that gold light, filling in your thighs, your hips, your torso, arms, forearms, hands, your shoulders, neck, face, and head. And so you're aligned with your own personal power. You're in a place of power, and that's exactly what it takes to take a deeper look into these chords. It takes a lot of self-love to do this work. So just by virtue of being here, clearly you love yourself and you know you're bigger than these chords. And then just like we did in the front, you're simply going to scan the back for an energy cord. Just being curious, looking for an energy cord in the back. If you're seeing multiple, totally cool. You're gonna look for the biggest one, the most prominent one, the one that's shouting out to you. Oftentimes the larger they are, the longer they've been there for. And the longer they've been there for, the more dense, calcified they are, so they're actually easier to read. It's easier to get the message from it. And when you find that chord, just like you've been doing, you're gonna follow it all the way out. Who's on the other end of this agreement? What's on the other end of this energy cord? And trusting whatever it is that you see, whatever it is that you hear or experience. You're totally the expert in you. You've got this. So whatever's on the other end of the cord, just like we've been doing. How long have you been here? What is it that you want me to agree to? Why won't you let me go? What do you want me to agree to? What's your message? And while I'm not agreeing to this, why am I letting this cord here? Why is this cord offering me comfort? What vulnerability do I have within me that opens me up to allowing you to cord in this way? What vulnerable thought of my own is this cord cording into, anchoring into? So maybe you want to sleep with me, but my vulnerability is I want love and I don't believe in it. Maybe you're in love with me and I'm not in love with you. But I am single, and I'm afraid I won't find love. And so knowing that somebody out there loves me helps me believe in love. I don't want you back, but I want you to keep wanting me, type of thing. What is in your space that allows this energy cord to exist? often a vulnerability, a fear, an insecurity, a worry thought. How is this cord comforting you? How is it offering you some sort of hope? Because the ones from the back are so tricky, what thoughts could you replace this cord with to prevent this cord from coming back? How could you offer yourself hope or comfort? So maybe it's love is for me. I do believe in love. I trust it'll happen. Whatever that affirmation is, obviously this cord came in on an insecurity, so you might not fully believe it, and it's totally cool. What pattern, what behavior, what practice could you implement that'll help you fake it till you make it? That'll help you live in alignment with this new affirmation. So maybe I'm writing out, love is for me, I trust in love, across my back. Maybe that's my new affirmation, but I don't really believe it. So what could I do that'll help reinforce this new affirmation in my space, preventing this cord from coming back, preventing that vulnerability, that insecurity from coming back? It could be I start online dating. It could be I create a vision board of some of the greatest romances I've been witness to. It could be reminding myself of all the other times I've been in love, whatever it might be. What insecurity did this cord come in? And what affirmation will you reset your energy field to prevent this insecurity from coming back? And what behavior, what action can you implement moving forward to reinforce this new affirmation, this new way of being, thereby preventing this cord from coming back? And when you're ready, you'll imagine that golden pair of scissors coming along, cutting this cord. You're doing great. The cord disappears out into the ethers like it was never there. Your energy melts back into your field, so that it's just your truth now, and not an energy cord. And then writing that new affirmation, that new thought form, belief. Across your back. Programming your energy to do just that. Preventing the cord from coming back. And then go ahead and visualize yourself carrying out that new behavior, that new action. Whether it's dating or that vision board or creating a list of all the times you've been in love, whatever it may be. Imagine yourself now carrying out that action and feeling really good about it. As you're behaving in this way, you're actually feeling that affirmation and trusting in it and believing in it. Maybe you're feeling the endorphins flooding your body and system, offering yourself a different sense of hope that might feel a little bit more practical or logical and not just blind faith. And when you've completely integrated that and owned that into your energy field, let's go ahead and scan for one more cord in the back. Actually, I'll leave it up to you. If you do have a habit that you're trying to kick, you can look for that cord. If you want to scan for a cord in your back and see what's going on there, you can scan for that cord. So if there's something that you've been wanting to let go of, that'll be coming from your front, not the back usually. So whether there's something that you know is pulling you off track and you want to consciously let go of it now is the time. Or if there's nothing that comes to mind, you can just scan your back again. So scanning your field for that energy cord. And then just like we've been doing, being really curious about it, being really open to whatever's on the other end of that cord, following it all the way out. Who or what is on the other end of this cord? What message do they come with? What's this agreement all about? How long has this cord been here? How is it validating you? How has it historically helped you feel better? And how is it currently hurting you? How is it currently limiting you? Why are you so ready to let go of it? If it is a cord from the back, what insecurities are within your energy field? What vulnerabilities are there that allowed this cord to come in the first place? What was this cord preying on? What do you need to know? What do you need to master in order to destroy this cord, let go of it, and prevent it from coming back? And how can that affirmation look like a verb or like an action? So if you're quitting smoking, maybe the action is I take deep breaths every hour on the hour for like 5 minutes. Or I let myself take a walk around the block no matter where I'm at. Turns out I just wanted fresh air instead of smoking, whatever it might be. And when you're ready, you'll bring along the golden pair of scissors, cutting the cord so that the cord disappears and fades into outer space, never to be seen again. All that remains in your energy field is your very own energy, your personal power, your authenticity. Writing your new affirmation clearly across your body, totally owning it. Whether you believe it or whether you will be believing it after behaving in alignment with it. You're declaring it. You're calibrating to it. You're self-validating. Let's reinforce this self-validation by picturing ourselves in that action, that new behavior that prevents this cord from coming back. And And feeling the liberation that comes with this new pattern or behavior, the mental freedom, the joy, the inspiration, the life upgrade. Getting really excited about this new way of being. And we'll complete with a final golden sun. Imagining a golden sun hovering at about 2 feet above your head, filling up and in with your own light, your own personal power. This golden sun is calling in any energy that you may have left in the past. It's calling in any energy that you may have left with the future, any energy left with people, thoughts, events, habits, locations, memories, whatever it might be. From known and unknown locations, all this gold light is filling into your golden sun, like filling in a pitcher of water. When your golden sun is so full, it looks like it might just explode. You can write a few affirmations across it, some new thought forms, behaviors, patterns or habits across this golden sun, calibrating all the energy in the sun to this wisdom, to your new truth, and then poking a hole in the bottom of this golden sun and letting it all in. So all that gold light comes in from the very top of your head, falling straight down to your toes, and fills you in from toe to head, filling in your toes, your feet, your ankles, calves and shins, your knees, your thighs, hips, stomach and back, chest and shoulders, arms, forearms, hands and fingers, filling in your neck, face, and head so that every single cell in your body is functioning off your own source energy, your personal power, your very own light. Every single cell in your body is radiating these new affirmations, this way of being. And so it is, allowing your fingers and toes to wiggle and your eyes to start fluttering open. Coming right back.